Hello, hello, it's Gail with Sage Sensation Retreats here with your weekly energy reading. This is the last one for 2021, and I hope you're having a good last week of the year, last couple weeks, last month of the year. Hopefully it hasn't been too hectic. Now's a great time, if you haven't already done this, to just spend some time reflecting on what's worked for you this year, what hasn't worked for you this year. I know a lot of people do the whole New Year's resolutions. If that resonates with you and works for you, great. If not, I personally like to do the other exercise of what worked for me this year, what didn't work for me this year. And, you can set intentions. You don't have to wait until New Year's to do that. You can set intentions anytime. I know some folks who do it on the new moon. You can do it with the lunar cycles. You could do it quarterly. You can do it, however you want to do it. So just sharing that because I know, quote unquote, and conventional wisdom, this is the time where people set all kinds of resolutions. And I guess they're just wanting me to remind everyone that you can do it however you want and you can call it whatever you want. And also to remind everybody to reflect. I know it's been a difficult year for a lot of people. There's been a lot of ups and downs. And sometimes we can get locked into it all. We can focus on all the things that didn't work and kind of forget about the things that did, forget about the things that we want to actually bring with us into a new cycle. And or sometimes vice versa, right? Like we are not present to some of the things that aren't working because they're maybe part of our comfort zone, or we just haven't taken the time to sort of reflect, and we take things into the next cycle that maybe don't necessarily serve us anymore. So I know that's a theme that's been coming up a lot in these readings, and there's always an opportunity, right, to simplify, to pare down, to work toward raising our vibration and really having, it's not to eliminate those lower density energies or anything like that. It's like those feelings of anger or sadness or grief, like there's a purpose to that. We don't have to necessarily stay in those energies. The purpose is to look at it and to really face it, right? Feel what we're feeling, face it, and use that as a catalyst to bring in more of what we want in our life. Okay, so they're already I'm going to do something kind of fun today. I got new cards from my sister. Please check out her channel on Instagram, Hunter Moon Goddess. And we're going to do a reading for the next few weeks using the Moonology cards that she got me. So I'm going to pull 4 cards here. This is the current energy has just come out. Know your worth. I was going to try to do this like this. Well, we'll see. We'll see how this goes. I also got this beautiful labradorite stone from Darla Ledoux from Sourced. You could check out her Instagram channel too. It might be Sourced Experience. I'll put it in the comments below. Okay, so the current energy is know your worth. So, and then we've got believe in your good luck. Oh, interesting. So I'm getting like a sense of prosperity coming through here. Hooray! Hooray for that. So if you've been working on manifesting something in your mission, I'm feeling like this is when you're going to start seeing the hints of your efforts. Oh, okay. And then we have forgive. And the last card is let your fears dissolve. Okay, I'm gonna put that there. So the current energy is know your worth. And what I'm feeling with this is that if you have had a tendency to people please, to overfunction, to give and give and give, right? People call this the season of giving. And when you're in that place of giving where there isn't a give and take, or a give and receive. I don't want to use the word take, but there isn't a reciprocal or a balanced receiving. It can start to kind of erode your confidence or your feeling of worthiness, right? And it's not to say that we're meant to give with the expectation of receiving. It's like, if you think about it as a flow, right? Or a circuit or circulation of energy, right? And it doesn't necessarily have to be a one-to-one thing, right? Like if you give to one person, it's not that you're going to receive necessarily right back from that person. It might be that you receive from a different source, from a different person, from a different place, right? And so there's a reminder here to know that you are worthy of receiving. And a lot of times, a lot of us struggle with being in that receiving mode. From something as simple as simply being able to receive a compliment, right? And so think about this. When somebody compliments you, do you say thank you? Do you deflect that compliment? Do you say, oh no, somebody else did this, and this, right? Like you kind of overlook yourself. And so that this week in particular, the current energy is really kind of spending some time tuning into and honoring your worth, okay? And if you do have trouble with receiving, really practicing being in that mode of receiving. If you are someone who, maybe you learned as a child learned a pattern of, well, I can get or receive love and affection and attention if I perform a certain way or if I behave a certain way, right? And then as an adult, there are these automatic patterns or these default patterns of, well, in order for people to quote unquote love me or pay attention to me or give affection or acknowledge me, I have to overfunction, like I have to be a certain way. I have to perform a certain way. And Spirit's really coming in and saying, no. That's not, you're worthy inherently. You don't have to do or be anything other than yourself. Okay. And to trust that the people who actually value you will see that, right? They're not going to be conditional with their affection and their attention and their acknowledgement because they value you. They value your presence in your life, right? And so when you start to value yourself, it'll become very clear who's in your sphere, who's there because you perform a certain way or because you behave a certain way, and who is there because of you, okay? So that's coming to a head this week. And then next week, we've got Believe in Your Good Luck. First quarter moon in Sagittarius. I think we have a new moon coming up. I'm not sure. I don't know if it's in Taurus. You may want to check that out. And you may want to, if you're wanting to do a new moon ritual around setting intentions, that could be a great ritual for, intending to really see your own value. Okay. There's something that I learned from from a woman named Amy Satori. It's like a little prayer or an affirmation or a request, right? To be shown the truth of all things. So you could specifically ask, show me the truth of my worth, right? In the coming week. Okay, so I kind of went back to the current energy, but for next week, what I'm feeling is it's kind of a building up, an accumulation from getting in touch with your own inner worth. And then this feels a little bit more like putting that into practice, right? Really feeling in your heart and your body, like what is it that, number one, what is it that you're desiring, right? What are you wanting to manifest in this next cycle? And really, really, really feeling in your body and in your heart that you deserve it, right? And then being playful. It says believe in your good luck. Now, I feel like sometimes like the words trust and believe, it can feel a little heavy. And the sense that I'm getting from this card is like, just be playful with, like play with the energy of, you know what, I really desire this and I really believe that I deserve it. And let's play with that. Like, let's put that to the test. Like, what happens when I decide, for example, that I'm going to, I have this urge to call this person, maybe invite them to something that you're, maybe you're putting on an event or you're launching a program, and you have this sense that this would be perfect for that person. And you just want to play with the energy, right? And see what happens. So really stepping into almost a place of expecting your efforts and your quote unquote good luck to come to you, to flow to you easily, right? But to sort of be in that experimental mode, like, well, let's see how this is going to happen, like curious, not so much in a, okay, I believe, right? Like in that should energy, but really in that, well, what happens when I believe in my good luck, in my good fortune? What shows up for me, right? It's a little bit lighter energy. And then in the third week, wait, is this the third, next week? The second week, 2 weeks from now, okay. 2 weeks from now, we have forgive. Okay, so 2 weeks from now is, we're looking at the second week in January. Okay, so what I'm feeling with this forgive card is, and okay, so this does not necessarily have to happen in 2 weeks, right? Take this how it resonates. You do not have to follow this in a linear way, right? Like you could be doing all of these over the next few weeks. You could be doing this forgiveness piece now. Totally take it how it resonates. But what I'm feeling is like, take the time in your reflection, right? And if you actually do this exercise or some variation of this exercise, but when you're reflecting over the year and what worked for you and what didn't work for you, what I'm feeling is that there may be certain situations or relationships, or it could even be with yourself, where you're maybe grieving, or you're feeling a loss, or you're judging something. You're judging yourself, or you're kind of feeling like, oh, I should have done this. I should have done this better. And it's like, no, take it, just look at it and reflect upon it and name it, and then forgive. Forgive yourself. This is not forget. This is to release the ruminating about it, right? And so if you've experienced loss, it's like, allow yourself to feel whatever you're feeling about that. Allow the sadness and the anger and the grief to come up. And even if there's blame that comes up, whether it's self-blame or blame of others, it's like acknowledge it, but then also let it go, right? You don't have to hold on to it. You don't have to keep telling yourself a story about who's at fault, what it means about you, or what it means about the other person, and this is like, it's not easy, right? Like sometimes we're deeply hurt. And this is a process and it takes time. So it's like, forgive what you can forgive and release what you can right now, right? And if there are things that you're like, yeah, I'm having a really hard time, then just acknowledge that you're having a really hard time forgiving whatever that is, right? And just do your best forgiving and releasing what you can at this time, okay? And you can always come back around and do that process again. Right? It's never too late. You're never out of chances, so don't worry about that. Okay, and then the final week we have let your fears dissolve. Let your fears dissolve. This is full moon in Cancer. Why are you showing me? What are you showing me? So they're showing me the crab and how the crab is just kind of staring at the moon. I mean, I know it's a card, right? Like, so there isn't going to be any motion here, but it's like the crab's frozen. If you see crabs on the beach, right? Like oftentimes they're either hiding, right? Or if they're out and about and you see them, they're moving, they're scurrying around, right? So this one's up above the ground, but just kind of like, it just looks like it's staring at the moon. So there may be something that's kind of holding you back, right? That's got you kind of like this, the crab in the moonlight, the deer in the headlights, kind of that freeze response. Can you tell me more about that? I'm going to grab some tarot. So bear with. But what I'm getting from this energy is like, I don't feel like this is something that's up right now. I feel like this may be something that comes into your experience in the next few weeks. It's like you're making progress here, right? Like you're tuning into your worth. You're really feeling that. You're really stepping into that. You're playing with that energy of, really fortune and fate and all of that, and kind of softening with the forgiveness. But then I feel like something's going to come in. Oh yeah. Well, sometimes like, we get these little tests, right? We get these opportunities. I don't even like to call it a test, but like we get these opportunities to put our tools and our skills and our new energy into practice. And that's what I'm feeling here. Can you clarify this full moon in Cancer? Let your fears dissolve. Six of Wands, victory. Okay, so whatever this is, maybe you get a speaking gig coming up, because I don't know if you can see that, but she's standing in front of an audience here, but there's victory. So it could be like, maybe there's an impromptu speaking engagement, or you get invited to be a guest on a podcast, or, a news segment or something like that. And it kind of like, it's exciting, but it also kind of freaks you out, right? Totally normal. But the message here is like, don't shy away from it, because it's like, I'm also feeling like it's going to bring you to a new level of success in your mission, a new level of visibility. It's going to help you reach people that you haven't reached yet, but they're people who you're meant to reach, right? So it's like, oh my gosh. Yeah, look at that. 6 of Wands and 4 of Wands, right? Celebration and foundation, right? Like this is also connected to family, marriage, that kind of thing, but that's not what well, it could be a business partnership, a really successful business partnership here. I know collaboration's been coming up a lot in these readings as well. So it could be if you're in collaboration, you've got like a collaborative project that you're working on, something may come in that it might be like, give that moment of like, oh shit. And Spirit saying like, just keep going. Don't let that take you off course. Don't let it take you off track, because success is there for you to have. You're going to be celebrating. And yeah, I am feeling like it's the opportunity for you to really put your new vibe and your tools and everything that you've been learning over the past year into practice. So it might feel like a big thing, but it's like, just remember, just go back to everything that you've been doing throughout the year, to help you clear those things, to help you heal, to help you continue on your path, is what they're saying. And then we've got King of Wands. So with the Lion here, it's like, this reminds me of strength. Wands, these are all wands. So this is, very passionate, fiery, also about taking action. So it's like, continue to take action. You might sort of be in that freeze mode momentarily. There's nothing wrong with that, but I feel like if you take a moment to just pause and get centered around what you're feeling, how you're feeling, and you work through those energies, and then you continue to take action, you're going to have success. You're going to be celebrating. The King of Wands is also like a really entrepreneurial card. So it's like leadership is what I'm getting here. It's going to be a new level of leadership. I'm also feeling a new level of visibility. It's really going to, I don't want to say that. Okay. It's really going to boost your ego, but not in that, it's going to boost your confidence. Let's put it that way. I don't want to necessarily boost you. It's not like that surface level thing. It's like more of a deep knowing and a deep trust of yourself, as you go through whatever this is for you. So that's pretty exciting. I'm going to pull. Am I pulling anything else? I wasn't expecting to do the tarot. Happy Monday. Yeah, I'm going to pull a Kali Oracle too. What do we have here? Are we taking all of these? No, I'm just taking this one. Okay. I always butcher these, and I apologize. I should probably learn how to say these, but Bhuvanaswari. Okay. She is the rising sun, marking the ending of darkness and the replenishment of life force after illness or devastation. She creates a clean slate and a fresh start. She protects and preserves that which is worthy of the heart. She shines in a perpetual state of divine beauty and radiance, attracting to us the most supportive and honoring circumstances. Wow, that's awesome. So, and that's what I feel like. This is like the closing out of a difficult period is what I'm getting here. And it's like when you put all of those practices and tools in your toolbox and you actually use them, it's like, you know how to navigate that darkness. It's not running away from it. It's not, judging it. It's like, okay, here it is. Here's my tool set. This is what I'm going to use to navigate through this period. And the more you do that, it's like the quicker that process, generally speaking, the quicker that process will go. And it won't have the same, you won't get caught up in the drama of it so much. Obviously it depends on the circumstances. Like certain things are going to impact us more than other things, right? But I don't feel like this, whatever this thing that's going to kind of like get your hackles up and kind of trigger some fears, I don't feel like this is a massive thing. Enough, obviously, to kind of stop you in your tracks for a moment, but not, this isn't like, there's been some really heavy energies, right? Like people have been going through some pretty chaotic and difficult and life-altering things. I don't feel like that's what this is, okay? So it's like, it's enough to get your attention and to require your attention and your care and your tenderness, but not enough to really rock your world kind of thing, okay? So that is the reading for this week. If you like this reading, drop me a comment below or a heart, whatever. Also check out my YouTube channel at gail.nowak, where I post these readings. I also post educational videos about visibility for your mission, transformation, leadership, those kinds of topics over there. And be sure to check out my sister's channel, Hunter Moon Goddess. She's the one that got me these beautiful Moonology cards. And then also Darla Ledoux over at Sourced Experience, who got me the beautiful labradorite stone. I mean, look at this. I have labradorite, but nothing like this. Like, look at how beautiful that is. Can't really see the light that well on it, but amazing. So my heart is filled with gratitude for both of you and for all of you who are following and watching today. And I hope you have a wonderful week.